You're recording?
Yes.
All right, cool. That's good. Hey, that's nice. I can actually see the recording button in my screen. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and call tonight's meeting to order. It is December 2nd, 2020, 7 o'clock. This is considered a regular meeting. And if I can have everybody all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. If you take a look at this at the Pat screen, he's got the flag. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. All right, so on to public forum. Cindy, do you happen to have anybody there?
Nope.
All right, and we will go ahead and move right on to tonight's approval of the agenda. Everybody had a chance to take a look at it. Any amendments, questions, changes?
This is Pat. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
All right, I have a motion by Pat to approve.
Second by Dan.
I have a second by Dan. Any further discussion? And just to, as a reminder, I'm actually going to ask for anybody that does not approve of the motion. So anybody disapprove of the motion, say aye. All right, motion carries. Move on to tonight's consent agenda. Anybody have any comments, questions of tonight's consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda. This is Dan.
All right, I have Dan with a motion to approve.
Troy with the second.
All right, I have Troy with the second. Any further discussion? Any opposed, say aye. Motion carries. On to the first of two public hearings we have tonight. So the first public hearing is going to be the annexation of parcel 15-0021000. This is a redo of the approval of the annexation request for the property. David Tisk is asking to have annexed into the city for a future multi-family apartment complex.
And the reason for the redo is that the railroad did not receive their notification for the first public hearing. So we needed to resend it out. And I did hear from two property owners on this one. They said they meant to call on the last time, but didn't. And so they felt like they had a second chance. Just questions, they asked some questions. One of them was in my office today. The business right next door, and got David on the phone, and he's going to meet with the business owner and they'll chat on Friday to wrap up the questions. He wasn't opposing the annexation, so.
Okay. All right. If there is nobody in the Zoom from the public,
No.
We can go ahead and go on to, let's see, the approval of ordinance 2020-007. And I'm trying to get to that.
Need a motion.
Yep.
Do we need to close the public hearing first?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing then and move on to approval of ordinance 2020-007.
Pat Becker makes a motion to approve or is it ordinance 2020-007?
Yes.
Yep. I have a motion to approve by Pat.
I
Second by
second
Troy.
that motion. Well, whatever.
It's all right. Jan will give. Jan has a second. Any further discussion? Any opposed, say aye. Motion carries. All right, on to the next public hearing. So we'll open up the public hearing for final budget and tax levy. So we, in our last budget workshop, we took a look at that.
And the levy, right now, the way it stands, the levy would be at a total of 580,000, which is $15,000 more than last year. And that gets broken down between the 2013 bond is 60,000, the 2018 bond is 9,000. Those are written into your bond agreements. And then 511,000 is general.
All right. And if there is nobody from the public
None.
to speak to it, all right, then I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and open up for the approval of resolution 2020-037, approving the final tax levy. Quiet night. So I'll go ahead and make I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve resolution 2020-037, approval of final tax levy.
Second by Dan.
All right, I have a second by Dan. Any last minute discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed, say aye. Motion carries. Resolution 2020-037 is approved. Moving on to adoption of the 2021 budget. Anybody from council have any last minute questions or concerns on the budget for 2021?
The only change on the budget that you received for the revenue side is I had listed the 496 as the property tax, and I'll change that to 511, which you just approved for the levy, which changes the total for the department 41,000. It adds that 15,000 into there.
Okay.
And that's page 1 of your revenue budget.
Yep. Page 1, first entry.
Yep.
All right. Any last minute questions?
Nope.
All right. Somebody would like to make a motion to approve the budget for 2021?
I'll make a motion, it's Troy, accept the budget,
right.
580,000 for 2021.
All right. I have a motion to approve.
I second that motion by Jan.
I have a second by Jan. Any last minute discussion? Any opposed, say aye. All right, motion carries, budget is approved. All right, so then move on to boards and commissions reports. So rental inspections. Looks like we've got a written report for this go around. And I'm trying to find it. So
8 properties have been licensed this year so far. 9 properties have till the end of December, and 13 properties are scheduled for 2021. I had just asked Aaron to give, and he'll do one for the planning side of, or the zoning side of it in the January meeting. But it's nice, it would be nice to get year end so that you know where we're at with totals of rentals, or because most of us don't know what the total rental property is. So that we know that, you know, it's working.
no, absolutely. No, that's a good idea. Did Darren have any concerns about any of the remaining properties that need to be licensed by the end of the year that might need
No.
any? No, okay.
No.
All right. Anybody have any questions on the rental inspections report? All right, then we'll move on to the 2020 budget. So this is resolution 2020-38, approve transfers and 2020 budget amendments.
This is a resolution I sent separately from the combined packet. Did everyone get it? Okay,
I've got it.
okay.
Me too.
This is your typical annual budget amendment, which you all have been through many times. The big difference is the CARES Act fund, which is the first big portion of changing the revenue, which is a good thing. But it also added many changes to the expense side as well that we have. And I tried to list where the funds are going to come from on your report so that you know it's COVID related. That's going to come from the CARES Act funds. It might be a council approved item that was earlier in the year, and I'm going to transfer from the savings account. An example is in rescue. They have a Henfling fund. They did some work, and we're going to transfer some of the savings from those donations into our operating funds because they spent some of the funds. So if that makes sense.
Do we have a way to perhaps break this out into what came from the CARES Act and what's coming out of, well, I guess basically I'm looking at like how much is coming out of reserves this year to cover the unforeseen expenses.
It will be, well, some of it is unforeseen, some of it is council approved. Council had approved taking some funds to do the work on City Hall and the community center. That's a foreseen thing, but we're amending the budget now. Last July, you approved for the city engineer to move forward with the 2021 project. Obviously, that's a big budget, but we need to amend the budget even though you approved it in July for him to do the work, because now at the end of the year, we're getting numbers on what that's going to cost. And that's roughly 58,000, somewhere in there. So what's coming, I can give you the total. I deleted it from my form, and
And that, yeah,
about
and that,
190,000 is not CARES Act. CARES Act is about 107,000 between CARES Act and some training funds that came in. Of those, about 60,000 will come from the treatment plant, the joint funds that we have with the treatment plant, because those are treatment plant expenses. About 30,000 is unforeseen legal. That has to do with lawsuit, and there's some of that is COVID, and we have another, I should have done this, which guys would have asked me for this one. About another 11,000 is covered by donations through like Hawks and Lions. They reimburse. And I can certainly come up with totals while we're zipping through the rest of the meeting.
and no, and that you can, we can probably just, if you want to send that out
Yep, absolutely.
next tomorrow or by the end, sometime the end of the week.
Yeah, because they're written on there. I just didn't add them all up. Yeah.
No, that's fine.
So I see two parentheses numbers. The 64,000 and change and the 129,000 and change.
Yep.
is the bottom line, at the 129,000, is that what we're,
No,
The
the
ultimate difference?
64,000 is your general fund
okay?
and the 129,000 is all your other funds. So the bottom line is about 190,000.
Okay,
Yep.
Yeah, and I do apologize. My internet connection dropped for a minute, so. Hopefully you guys can hear me again.
mhm.
All right, anybody have any other questions? All right, somebody would like to make a motion to approve the budget amendments?
I make a motion to approve the budget amendments. This is Jan.
All right, I have a motion by Jan to approve.
This is Pat, I'll second.
I have a second by Pat. Any last minute discussion? Okay, anybody opposed, say aye. All right, motion carries. On to deed funding application. So we got two resolutions here, 2020-39 and 2020-40. First one is local government application for deed funding. And then the second one is declaring slum blighted area. So we'll go with the, on the first one, the 2020-39. Looks like this is just to authorize me and Cindy to, does it actually apply for the deed funding?
Yes,
If I read that correctly?
that's correct.
Anybody have any questions?
Is this that,
You can.
the stuff that we were talking about when, was it? We probably talked about this like this 6 months ago or a year ago. When
Yes.
we sent out those surveys and stuff for updating houses and stuff like that?
Yeah, this would be, are you talking UCAP?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? Can I I'll ask for a motion to approve 2020-39.
This is Dan. I make a motion to approve 2020-39.
All right, I have a motion to approve by Dan.
Troy with the second.
I have second by Troy. Any last minute discussion? Any opposed, say aye. All right, motion carries. On to resolution 2020-40, declaring slum blighted area. So anybody that's watching this video later on might be like, whoa, wait a minute. This is all part of the process of being able to apply for the deed funding. We do have to, and this, it isn't as bad as it sounds. This is just basically declaring that there is an area within, there is an area within city limits that we would like to use this specialized deed funding for. Did I capture the gist of that correctly, Cindy?
That was perfect.
Excellent.
Yep.
Sometimes I make a mistake and remember something.
It shows a need.
Yep.
We have one, so.
So anybody have any questions on the resolution? And I will go ahead and make a motion to approve resolution 2020-40.
Troy with the second.
I have Troy with the second. Any last minute discussion? Any opposed, say aye. All right, motion carries. That brings us up to, let's see, approval of the bills. And there should be, I think if I recall correctly, you had included that in our packets, a breakdown.
Yes.
Yep, and there is a Teal Machine and Welding in there.
All right. With anybody have any questions on the bills? Then I will go ahead and make a motion to pay the bills except for the one for Thielen Machine.
Second by Dan.
I have a second by Dan. Last minute discussion. Any opposed, say aye. All right. The motion is approved. Bills are paid. And I will go ahead and make a motion to pay Thielen Machine.
This is Pat, I'll second.
I have a second by Pat. Any last minute discussion? Any opposed, say aye.
To
Any
Dan,
abstention?
Abstain, Dan.
All right, and Dan with the abstention. All right, that moves us on to the departments. So on to you, Cindy.
Well, obviously, I have been working on budget year end and budget amendments. I did want to, because I don't know if I shared this with the CARES Act fund. You know that we received a check for 78,655. And we also received, and this is all for fire, rescue, and public safety. We received a check from Union Grove for $3,275. Forest Prairie gave another $1,000. Eden Lake gave $7,000 and Manana gave $8,000, which totaled out to roughly $97,930 that were used for our CARES Act fund. Obviously, the last four are specific to fire, rescue, and public works or public safety. Other than that, it's year end, so it's crazy.
All right, anybody have any questions for Cindy? All right, thank you, Cindy. And on to Zach.
Oh yeah, things are going good. We got the new locator all up and going, and we're starting to get some curb stands on a map. So we'll keep plucking away at that as it goes, but it'll take some time to put all them in there. But once it's all built, it's going to be a great asset to us. So yeah, other than that, yeah, waiting for the snow, I guess. So that's all I got. You got any questions?
The Christmas lights look really nice. Thanks for the hard work on those.
Yeah, I'll pass on the word to Mark, and yeah. Thank you.
And I agree with Jan on that. They look good. All right, anybody have anything else for Zach? All
And
right,
with
then we'll move.
Public Works is Kent as well, just so you know. He has a little report.
I was just going to call on him. That's all right. That's okay. Sometimes I need the reminder. So, all right, Kent, what you got for us?
An update on the 2021 project. We've started laying out the proposed streets, and after we've drawn those in and compared those to our survey information, if you recall when we were talking to the Soil and Water District, mentioned maybe we would be creating more than an acre of new impervious. We're close, but we are not creating 1 acre of new impervious. Therefore, that whole component of stormwater treatment goes away. So it makes it easier. We won't be trying to shoehorn in some sort of pond or rain gardens or that kind of stuff into that project. Also working out the details of the utility replacement. Scheduled a meeting with Zach next week to kind of sit down and go through some of that stuff. What else do we have? Also planning to still meet with property owners, kind of have an open house so people can come in and ask questions one-on-one. We'd like to have the design pretty well roughed in by that time, so we know if we're taking a tree because of a sewer or water service, or how far back into a driveway perhaps do we need to go to make it fit with the new road, that kind of stuff. So we have good information when people ask those kinds of questions. So I guess what I'm saying is I would expect that to happen January is what it's looking like right now. But otherwise things are moving along well.
Okay. And as part of this project, do we have to work with Excel and Arvig and was it the natural gas company on relocating those lines too? Is that all
Yeah.
part of the utility stuff that you're working through?
Yep, we will be coordinating with all of those private utility companies. It's interesting, if we look at the Stearns County aerial, Rose Avenue is the east-west street that kind of cuts right down the center of the project. And if you look at the aerial and the county parcels, it looks like that road is shifted halfway onto private property to the south. It's pretty close to accurate now that we have it surveyed and we know where the lines are.
Mhm.
There is a substantial chunk of that road that is not even within the right of way. And the
Hmm.
utilities, of course, always place themselves along the road. So there will be a handful of utilities that will have to move to accommodate the new, wider, correctly positioned roads after we recenter them in the right of way.
And are we going to be able, we'll be able to, because that's not the only road that's off axis in that area, is there?
That is correct. That is not the only road. Bell Street, we've talked about trying to recenter that in the right of way. And on that south block, there's a row of trees on each side, actually. If we center the road in the right of way, that row of trees on the east is almost right down the center of the new road. Just for frame of reference, the west edge of the existing pavement is about on the west right of way line. That's how far shoved to the side that street is within the right of way. So the west row of trees is all on private property.
Okay.
East row of trees, pretty much right down the center of the road, a little bit to the east, but that whole east side would need to be clear cut.
We infringing on any wetland or anything on going east of the,
Yeah, Dan, that is something we've looked at. We delineated that side of the road, and we will be looking at how that street, once we build the road, we'll have to slope down into that low area to the east. So that is something we'll be looking at. And if it looks like we need to be doing some permitting or mitigating, perhaps we need to revisit that street width. If that's something that you would rather avoid. Wetland credits can be expensive. You know, maybe it's just a very small amount and it's not a big deal, but if it's a significant area, then that's something we may need to revisit.
that road is gonna be like 42 feet wide? Is that, or how wide is that one? Exactly.
I think we had it scheduled to be 30, yeah, it was 36.
6?
How close is it gonna get to those houses on the east side?
Let's see. If I get up on the Coleman intersection, I can do some measuring here quick. We've got that house in the southeast corner. I apologize, I don't have names in front of me here. Southeast corner is Shane Lang, and then south of him is Clifton Mills. So since that road is currently quite far to the west, the new edge of the road would shift about 17 feet to the east if we recentered it. So it'd take off about half of that driveway. It's a significant change, obviously. Cindy, am I able to share my screen? Not sure if I can do that here.
If you look at the bottom of the Zoom window, there should be a
There it is.
toolbar. Yeah.
Oh,
Cindy
it's
might still need to be
disabled.
able to grant, yeah, Cindy might still need to grant you the access.
But kind of to my point about, we want to make sure we have this dialed in before we meet with the residents. It's that kind of stuff. that I'd like to feel pretty confident that we're all on the same page on where we want this street to be.
Yeah, and Bell Street, I guess, was the one that I've been maybe the most concerned about because
Mhm.
of how far off that street actually is compared to the actual right of way.
Yeah,
That, I know the south end of Bell Street might not be that big of an issue, but what you just pointed out, the north end of Bell Street, I don't know. Some of those some of the property owners there might not like losing half their driveway.
yeah, I would expect not.
I'd say Rose Avenue is gonna be the same way, huh? You said that's off about a half a road?
Yeah, can you see this?
No,
No,
Oh, nuts. I must not have.
actually, hang on here a second. Let me try something.
Yeah, Dan, the west block of Rose.
Yeah, now we should be able to see the project view.
Yeah,
So what you're talking about is Rose here.
yeah, that west block between Maple and Brooks.
Yeah.
That pavement is encroaching on private property to the south.
So this block here would have to move to the north.
That one's going north. Rose is shifting north.
Okay.
Would be
And then-
centered.
The whole Rose Avenue's off that far, or just the west end?
The west end is worse. It gets
Yeah.
better as it goes east. So the very east end where it hooks into Bell Street, that's pretty close to where the new road would be.
Okay,
Okay.
But as it goes west towards the church, it gets more and more skewed to the south.
And the best time to set these straight is now, right? I mean,
About the only chance we'll have, I think.
yeah. Otherwise, it'll be off for the next
50 years.
50 years, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
all the rest of the streets looking, are they all off or just
Uh,
those three?
Those are the two worst. Brooks is pretty well centered. That's a narrow right of way already. That's 33 feet of right of way. And we're putting in a 28-foot road there. So this would be exactly like Brook Street on the south end of town by Emily and Jeannie and those streets down there. That's what we'd be looking at here. Let's see, Maple. The west side, it depends where you look. The south block, the west side is pretty much where the new road would go. It would get wider to the east. And the north block of Maple starts out the same as the south block, where the west side would be in about the same spot. The east side gets wider. When you get up to Coleman, it's kind of the opposite. So the east side of the road.
So basically, the church there is gonna lose some greenery, is what you're saying. On the
Yes, they
south
would.
side and a little bit on the east side.
Yes, they would. All around the corner they will, because Coleman's getting wider too. Yeah, and those streets out there are narrow. I mean, they're 18 feet wide. So it's hard to do less than, 36 feet is a pretty common street width for a residential street. It gives you room to park a car on each side and still push traffic through the center. Nobody's going through there at 40, meeting head on, but if somebody's having a graduation or something like that, and you've got cars parked all on one side, traffic can still get through there.
Some of those houses might not have a choice anymore but to park on the street.
Yeah.
Pretty
it's-
darn close to the edge of the road already.
Mhm.
And that's, yeah, and that's my feeling too, Pat, is with this, just having driven through that neighborhood many times, the houses are already incredibly close to the road.
Just for public safety and stuff, we gotta widen the road.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I agree with,
Those roads are extremely narrow.
yeah,
I
I
think
agree
I'd
with you.
like, I think I'd like to see what
Yeah,
it actually looks like on paper, once you get everything, before we make any determinations of,
Mhm.
narrowing any streets or whatever we need to do, but,
Can
or
you see
leaving it
this? I
as you
tried to share my
propose.
screen again. Can you see this?
No, we can just see whatever Brent
Just
shared.
Brent's map, okay.
And
Nuts.
we're not in the position where you're making some type
Oh, there
of
we go.
decision tonight at all.
No, right.
Yeah, not at all. This was just to kind of get you up to speed of where we're at with the engineering and meeting with the public and yeah, those kinds of things. Not a decision-making meeting by any means.
Would the council prefer, before we do the open house, to kind of have some handouts and see what these impacts look like on
I like-
paper?
I like that, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I-
so too.
yeah, because I got a feeling, I mean, you go back to the initial public hearing we had on the 2021 project. We actually had quite a crowd for the project, and I think if we at least have a heads up what that's going to look like before we start meeting with residents, that'll help us be able to
Yeah.
keep the message straight.
Sure. We can do that. And we're more concerned about street widths and less concerned about where are the sewer and water going
Right.
for that discussion, I would say, right?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, Kent, everybody, they don't understand what goes in the ground. They see what's done at the end.
You
And
got it.
that's the concern. It's not so much where that sewer is going to go or where your storm's going to go. It's what's it going to look like at the end.
Yep.
And that's going to be the biggest hang up. I got a feeling it's not going to go that well. So we'll have to make sure we got a lot of information on hand for that, so they understand kind of what's going on and the process of what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it looks like a majority of the people are going to be losing some.
So
Losing
you always
some or a
have
lot.
somebody's going to lose and somebody's going to gain in that situation, and that's kind of the bad part of it. But
Yep.
we're going to correct. This is the time to do it.
I agree.
Yeah, okay, so we'll put some drawings together so you can see street by street where the existing edge of pavement is, where the new backup curb would be. Maybe some dimensions on there, so you have an idea how much of a change that really is.
That drawing would show the house location and everything, so we can see,
Yep,
yeah.
Yep.
okay.
we'll have the aerial photo behind it, addresses, driveways, houses, all that stuff, trees. Yep,
Anything that would go to the public when individual meetings or group meetings, you will have seen before it gets there. So anything that we would have a map or whatever we would have for the public, you want to have that for the council before that meeting occurs.
we can
Yeah.
do
It's
that.
gonna be very important, because it's gonna, like Troy said, there's gonna be some controversy, some people not happy losing property and stuff. So we all gotta be on the same page.
Mhm.
There are many who are prepared because they've been calling.
Yeah. So even more of a reason to be prepared ahead of time for when the questions start coming.
Mhm,
Yep.
sounds good.
Hey, Zach, when you do that too, do you ask about any underground private utilities like dog fence or anything like that? Who's got them?
We usually do that as part of our public outreach at the beginning of the project.
Yeah. Okay. That's another big one that causes a lot of issues.
Mhm. And our approach has been, if you have stuff in the public right of way, it's the property owner's responsibility to get it out of the way.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because that and sprinkler systems and
Yes.
all that fun stuff. So yeah, I'm excited.
Well, it'll look nice when it's done.
Yeah.
Like Troy, like you said, I mean, it's the final product that people are going to be concerned, they're going to be concerned about.
Mhm.
So,
And that initial process when it does start, when all of a sudden the removals start and things, it's like, oh my God, looks like a bomb went off, but it'll be very good when it's done. I mean, we're just going to have to make sure when we do when the public does start getting informed that, we're upfront, honest, what we're trying to achieve and how it's going to end up. That's the biggest thing. No surprise. You always have something in a recon, always, but just want to be honest with the residents. And like I said, I know we're going to have some issues, but we'll be able to deal with it, I think, and it'll be good at the end.
Yep.
Most of
Knowing
the
what
phone
I've seen
calls-
of,
Most of the phone calls I've received is because the meeting that we did have with the public, they anticipated the meetings with them to happen this fall. And so they're calling now saying, did the council already make the decision? Why didn't they have a public, so they were a little on the panic side that the meetings with them individual property owners didn't happen. That you went ahead with things without them because of course they saw the engineers out and about surveying, thinking that they had moved forward. So most of our phone calls were just letting them know that, it took a little longer than anticipated, and we will always meet with the public before you make any decisions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So.
all right. Well, thanks for the update, Kent.
absolutely.
So, all right. So, let's see. Let's go ahead and move over to Ernie. You're on mute if you're still there.
I'm gonna go see if he's here.
He just
I
turned
see
his
him.
camera on. Yep, but you're on mute yet. There you are.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
All right, good. So I wish you guys all, I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. You got my monthly report. Down quite a bit from last month, but we had a lot of, we had a lot of stuff going on, so there's reasons for that. But we're back in full swing now, so we're good to go. In reference to the ordinance violations, I got pretty much all of them cleared up, but I got 2 that I'm working on yet. So hopefully I'm going to deal with them on Thursday and keep trying to work with them because anyway, I won't mention any names on a live feed, but we're working with a couple of people yet trying to get some stuff straightened out. And only other thing I got is Stuff the Bus on December 12th. We're going to be doing that from 1 to 4. We should have a bus up there the night before. We just got a banner ordered today for that. And that's going to be for school supplies and the food shelf. So that'll be December 12th, 1 to 4 at the bank parking lot on Main Street.
Yep.
And if
And
you
this will
haven't had a
be
chance, there's a lot of good Christmas lights in town this year. It's probably the most maybe I've ever seen. There's a lot of lights, so people are really anxious to have a good Christmas and a little Christmas spirit, I think, with everything that's been going on in 2020. So it's probably the most I've ever seen, truthfully. There are a lot of good houses out this year. It's kind of nice. So if you get a chance, get out and about.
Yeah, and to add on to that, Ernie, the Eden Valley Chamber of Commerce is doing a lighting contest So look for the Eden Valley Chamber of Commerce on Facebook, and they got some information on there on how you can get signed up and be a part of that lighting contest.
It's up on Eden Valley Citizens for Progress too, and I think a few of us have shared it on our homepages. So, and there's some money being given away, and I think we're going to judge the lights, and yeah, so get your name in there, and you can maybe win a little money of. I think we're doing Eden Valley bucks, right, Brent? Something.
Yep, it's Eden Valley Bucks.
So that's all I have. Unless you have something for me, just hang in there.
Nope.
Let's get through this year.
All right. Anybody got anything for Ernie? All right, moving on to other. Any council members have anything?
Oh, I don't.
Not at this time.
All right, so in your agenda here for the evening, we have our next council meeting will be on January 5th, 2021. That will be due to, that is a change due to the holiday. We will not be having a council workshop this month. So this will be the last time we meet as a council for the year.
Do we have a schedule for next year, or did you put that out already and I missed it, or?
I have not. That's usually at the January meeting, but I will send it. I will email it to you all ahead of time
Okay, perfect.
so that you get all the dates.
Yep. All right, well, with that being said, I will go ahead and adjourn tonight's meeting. Thanks everybody for coming. Hopefully everybody has a great rest of the week.
Yep, you too.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, Zach.
Hey, Kent.
Yeah, Troy.
Hey, can I tag along with you and Zach next week?
Oh, boy.
Well, I'll be good, I promise. When are you thinking?
We had tentatively set, was it Wednesday at
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
Wednesday at 1?
Okay. I got a work meeting in the morning at 8:30, but I'll try to catch up with you guys if that's okay.
Fine with me.
If you don't want me to, just say it.
No, it sounds good to me.
Okay.
We were gonna meet out at the shop.
At the Public Works.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. All right, Zach buying donuts this time.
There we go. Perfect.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye. Okay. Dang, I hate when they do that. Start the meeting. Look at that. I tried. Get me out of there.